Hi, this is Dave at Free Run Speed. Welcome to my rabbit hole. The other day I was bored, so I started watching all these running shoe videos on YouTube. The first one I watched was Running Warehouse talking to Road Trail Run. And I thought it was a great interview. I think Trail Run does a great job on YouTube. Very informative. But the concept, the talk went all the way around and finally came back to super shoes and super foam. And so then I went down the rabbit hole. The next one that I watched, and maybe it wasn't the next one, but I, I watched Road Trail Run talk to all of the wear testers and ask them what their favorite shoes to run in right now were. And I can't remember. There was only one guy that was a wear tester. He lived in Boulder, Colorado, who did not run in a carbon fiber shoe. In fact, he said he doesn't really like the carbon fiber plates. But all the others raved about the carbon fiber plates, and it was usually between the New Balance Fuel Cell TC and the new Saucony Endorphin Pro. Finally, I ended up with Seth, and he talked about building a shoe matrix for these super shoes. And that got me thinking, are these really super shoes? Are there really something super about them? Or are we going to get to the same place that we always get when everybody jumps on a shoe topic or a shoe phenomenon, and that we develop unique injuries? So I think these four shoes, and I don't know that we need to talk about the Vaporfly Flyknit, but these four shoes have super foam in them and also have a carbon plate. So the Vaporfly Next has Pebax and a carbon plate. The Endorphin Pro has Pebax and a carbon plate. The Flyknit Vaporfly has Pebax and a carbon plate. And the Fuel Cell TC has Fuel Cell and a carbon plate. And then finally, these are the shoes that I have, but the Zoom Fly has React foam and a carbon plate. And the Carbon X from Hoka One One has a blended EVA and a carbon plate. To put them in some form of bucket, we've got training racing here, where some athletes are going to train in them on a regular basis, and some athletes are going to use them for their training and racing shoe. This one is super soft. It's going to fit a lot of runners. This Zoom Fly, and it's no different really than the current Zoom Fly that's out there, is kind of bottom heavy. The React foam is a little bit heavy, so it's kind of bottom heavy. The Carbon X has the unique Hoka rocker built into it. It is an EVA based foam. There's a lot of shoe under your foot. It's light, but it's a firm ride. It's not soft. These two shoes, the Vaporfly Next Percent and Endorphin Pro, they are both, as I said, Pebax foam, which is ultra light, ultra spongy feel to it. The Endorphin Pro is built with speed roll, and understand the carbon plate has a lot to do with that speed roll because it's shaped that way, where the Nike just has a great deal of foam underneath your foot. The Nike is a super soft coming out of the box. You're going to feel it right away. At first you're going to think, wow, this shoe is way too soft to be fast. Nobody talks about that after they've run in it. The Endorphin Pro is not ultra soft, but it does have a an incredibly fast feel to it. So what's great about running in these shoes? First and foremost, they're light. These two shoes with Pebax are ultra light because that foam is ultra light. Fuel Cell is a lightweight foam. So that's number one. They're ultra light. Number two is you feel like you're springing down the road. You actually feel different running in the shoes. The third thing is protection. You can go run in these. You can run a marathon in these shoes and then go out and run the next day. If that's not protection, I don't know what is. So why can you run a marathon in these shoes and then go out the next day? There are two things that are occurring. One is the downhills. I talked about that with the Endorphin Pro. That you can run downhill really fast and you don't feel it. And so if you're on a marathon course, let's say Boston Marathon, that is downhill for the first 10 miles. It's not steep, but it's downhill for the first 10 miles. If you can run Boston that first 10 miles and not get beat up, you're going to run the next 16 miles much faster. Or you're going to be able to maintain your speed, which is different than running it faster. It's just you're not beat up, so you can maintain your speed. The second thing, and you'll hear runners talk about this, and you'll hear some of the shoe experts talk about this. When you take a step running, the shoe takes up some of the shock absorption, but the body absorbs most of it. And the way that the feeling through the body is almost the best thing that I can explain, and what I've heard it explained is a vibration. Is that there's a vibrating feel when you run. You don't notice it at all until you run in these shoes. When you run in these shoes, there is an instant something's missing, and it is the vibration that occurs in your legs. You take that away over a marathon, just think about the amount of fatigue you're saving. That's why you can go out the next day and run. One, you can run downhill fast and not feel it, and two, the vibrating effect of running is not there, which is part of what makes you sore. So if you can run a marathon in this shoe and then go out and run the next day, why not just wear it every day? Why not run every single day? And maybe you can run more. And maybe you can run more faster. Your Strava segments are faster. Why not? Actually, people do that. In fact, one of the best masters runners in all of Southern California lives not too far away from me. And my joke is he always runs fast. But the thing is, he runs exclusively in this shoe. He trains in it and he races in it. He races cross-country races in this shoe. He probably has the Alpha Fly now. I haven't seen him for a while. So people do it. People, they don't feel the effects of running as much running in this shoe, so why not? Wear it every day. If all of you who are watching this video or who have jumped on these shoes and are using these shoes as your training shoes, everyday training shoes, new injuries are going to pop up. A simply overused term in running shoes is pronation. Pronation is the effect of you landing, doesn't matter if you land on the heel or in the midfoot or whatever, and toeing off the big toe. That's pronation. And guess what? It's a good thing. No matter where you land, in the heel, in the midfoot, you toe off on the big toe, and that is pronation, and it's what we're all trying to achieve. If you've been running for years and years, you've probably heard the term overpronation. And that means you're actually landing and you're rolling off further to the inside than your big toe. And then there's underpronation, where you don't ever hit that first med head. Proper pronation occurs partially as the shoe flexes, allowing the foot to move naturally, to let that foot roll to proper pronation. As you know, these shoes don't flex. Carbon fiber plates are going to limit some feet from pronating. I'll say that again. Carbon fiber plates are going to limit feet from pronating. If we take a perfectly healthy foot that pronates naturally and limit what it can do by putting it in a carbon fiber shoe over 90 footfalls a minute for 60 minutes every single day, the body is going to react. It's going to tell you wait. And the way it tells you to wait is it flares up. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to get injured. You don't want downtime. So this is what I suggest. Wear those super shoes for their intended purpose. And this is what I've done. The New Balance 1080 has been my go-to long run shoe since February. There's 300 miles on this shoe and still going. I'll talk about it in a week or so. The Saucony Shift has been my go-to recovery shoe. A lot of purposes with this shoe. I'm talking about it tomorrow. And the Fuel Cell TC, with roughly 90 miles on it, has been my go-to workout day shoe. So when I go and run tempo or I do a workout, this is the shoe I grab. And yes, I have snuck in some runs in the Saucony Endorphin Pro and the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. The last thing I can say is I've been in the running shoe industry and around this entire running industry for a really long time. There's no such thing as a super shoe. Yes, there is a super shoe for a purpose, but there's no such thing as a magical shoe that's going to protect you forever. You have to be smart about the shoes that you run in, and don't expect that shoe to do something that you've never had before. Yes, you're going to run faster in a carbon plate shoe. But is that a good thing over time? Over every single run? Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you have a great run today. I'll be talking to you soon.